Hello, hello, hello. I'm Sheila, and it's wonderful to be with you wherever you are in the world. And welcome to today's Valentine's Day, although it isn't actually Valentine's Day yet, the Valentine's Day Soulmate Healing. So I'm very, very excited to share this with you, and you can receive this healing for you and your soulmate wherever you are in the world. All you need to do to receive this healing is to set an intention that you do receive. So I'm just going to have a look at the original post to see who shared it. And then whoever shared it, I will be pulling you a soulmate card. So just bear with me. So we've got Janice, Lisa, Barbara. Wonderful. I get to pull some cards for you. That's really cool. Lena. Okay, so I'm just going to double check everybody who shared it. Milena, Tracy, Patricia, and then Sherry. Okay, Laura, I think you did card the other day, so I'm definitely going to pull a card for you as well. It's wonderful to be with you all. So it's not Valentine's Day yet, but what I'm going to be doing is I am going to be talking to Archangel Michael about the energies around relationships. I'm also going to be doing some healing that whether you're single or whether you've been married for a long time, I'm just white staging my space. You can benefit from this healing. And really, it's almost like psychic surgery, the healing that I do, because it is very, very specific. Okay. So the messages that we have, Archangel Michael is here. So he says, for many soulmates right now, there are many issues that are causing frustration within your relationships. Sometimes those issues have been there for a long time and they're not easily resolved because they're not there on the surface. And he says where these frustrations are felt is within the back of the heart and the back of the solar plexus. So he says what you've got to understand is that when you've got long running frustration with your partner, the light falls out of your marriage or relationship contract. And when the light falls out of it, it's a bit like owning a house that is derelict. There is a point when it will collapse under its own weight. Okay, so if there is long running frustration within a relationship, it is really, really important to consider addressing those issues, because once the light falls out of the relationship, basically the soulmate contract, the agreement that you made to come together, whilst you may have, you may actually be married or you may actually be living together, the agreement is actually abdicated at a soul level. So if there are long-running frustrations within your relationship or within your marriage, you really do need to look at communicating with your partner sooner rather than later, because the light quotient within a relationship, it needs to be over 30 for it to continue. What happens if the light quotient goes below 30 is that at a soul level, it's very common for the soul to seek out new soulmates. And when those new soulmates actually come in at the soul level, that is very often when relationships break up, because subconsciously you know that there are other people for you to meet, not necessarily in a romantic way. So Michael says, even if you don't know how to resolve long-running frustrations, just start to communicate with your partner more generally. Show your partner that you are genuinely aware of them as the person that they are. Don't forget that everybody is meant to change. And if the differences between, you notice my throat's gone, if the differences between you and the vibration of your partner are very different, that is a sign that the light is falling out of your soulmate contract. The other thing he's saying is, be aware if your marriage or your relationship turns into a sister-brother thing. If it turns into a sister-brother thing, that can be a sign that the light quotient is very low as well. So he says, what we want you to remember, you didn't come together to heal the other person. Even if your marriage or your relationship has changed, the reason that you came together was to learn and grow. And so he says, your growth should be continuing outside of the relationship in order for the relationship to keep growing. What often happens is that light workers get scared of leaving the other person behind. And because of that, they halt their growth in the hope that that will stabilize the relationship. And that is not what happens. What happens is the frustration builds because the light workers' main passion is growing, and if you're not growing, you will actually be more frustrated within the relationship. So that's another message that he has. Okay, so he says also, one of the things you can do is you can actually ask your higher self to help soften the effect of imbalances between you. So if you are very aware that your vibrations are very, very different, you ask your higher self to soften the effect of the imbalances between you. It doesn't last forever, but it will certainly help you in the short term. Okay, morning, Sue. Okay, Michael's also talking about, in relationships at the minute, people have got different ideas about the way they want their life to be moving forward. And very, very often, you don't know how to broach that the way you see your future, you know it's different to the future that your spouse sees. So what he says is there are always common components right now. So maybe your spouse sees the two of you moving house next year and you don't want to move. Okay, the common component may be, let's freshen up the house that we're in. Okay, why does he want to move? Perhaps the reason he wants to move is that there is better jobs available in the other place, or the fishing is better. So how can you actually in the middle where those components are? So he's saying many of you have got different visions of your future, and that worries you. So what you need to do is you need to find the common ground within the next few months so that the relationship evolves when it comes to your timelines. And he says, this is something we need to talk about. There are many timelines at any one moment, but you need to make sure that you and your partner are occupying timelines of a similar type. So if your partner is wanting something or expecting something, if your partner is very, very linear compared to you, and I don't mean whether or not they have spiritual beliefs, if your partner is very, very based in lack and you are always trying to manifest something, you're occupying different timelines, and that can be difficult. So wherever you can, he says, make sure that the relationship day to day contains subjects that are pleasing to both of you short term. In other words, have common interests. Make sure that you encourage common interests, whether that's cooking together, whether that's doing the house up, whether that is taking the kids out. Make sure that you've got common interests, because if your timelines are separate, if you only meet up to have a meal, or if you only meet up when both of your work days finished, again, those timelines are going to start to take you separately as well. So just be aware of that. Okay. Okay, he wants to talk about issues outside of the relationship intruding upon the relationship. So he's talking here about money issues, family issues, career issues. Okay, so any issue which is practical or emotional that is impacting the relationship causes an intrusion on the soulmate contract. Okay, so he says, of course, lots of you at the minute have got these external issues. It might be concern about elderly parents. It might be concern about a child, but they're all external to the relationship. And he says, what you need to remember is that the relationship has a different energy to the family. Okay, so if you've got kids together, or if you've both got kids, you know, and then you're together, the relationship is one collection of energy. The family is another collection of energy. It's really important that both of you see the relationship as one collection of energy, and that you see anything else as being outside of that. And even if you can't tackle those issues personally, even if you can't tackle those issues, it's important that you view the relationship as being its own consciousness, so that things like money, you do tend to tackle as being external to the relationship, so that there isn't this intrusion, so that there isn't resentment that is caused by what you do or you don't have, or what you can or can't change. So that is something that he's talking about as well. So he says, in essence, we're talking about creating more common bonds. And even if there is frustration, even if there is a lack of connection, through encouraging more common bonds on a daily basis, the feeling of being on a team together, this doesn't include children, okay? Being on a team together is very important. Your children and even your pets are within the family unit of which the relationship is a part. So I want to show you what I'm talking about here. So me and my husband, we've each got children from other relationships. So you've got, and we've got our babies that are our dogs, okay? Okay. So you've got me and my husband, excuse the silly things, you've got our dogs and you've got our kids. The relationship is at the center of the family, Okay, what happens with a lot of couples, especially if they've only got one child, they view themselves as a family, so then the relationship contract isn't as strong. And that is where divides can begin. Divides in parenting, divides between one child and one parent and another child and another parent, or the mother and the children and the father feels left out, or the stepfather feels left out. Division. So what you need to do is, whatever your relationship is like, you, the light worker, need to see the marriage or the relationship as being the center point of everything else. Then the family is around that. Then the career or the money or the house is outside of that. The parent of that. But it's really about making the marriage or the relationship the center point of your life, and that will encourage more connection and this feeling of you and them being on the same team. Because if you have this feeling that you're working against each other, the light quotient is too low. At some point you'll probably split up, and that is not what we want. Okay, so we are now going to, and I'm actually not going to do this healing. I am going to suggest this healing. The reason I'm doing this is because, frankly, my energy is quite low. So we are going to suggest some healings that you can ask Archangel Michael to do. You just call him in and you just say, Archangel Michael, please do the following. Okay, so the first thing you can do is you can ask Archangel Michael to up the level of light in your marriage or your relationship and ground the energy of your marriage or your relationship. You can ask Archangel Michael, please cut the cords between the marriage or the relationship and outside issues. Okay, so maybe those outside issues are your in-laws. Maybe those outside issues are worries about your house. Maybe those outside issues are worries about somebody that is ill. So you're saying, Archangel Michael, please cut the cords from issues outside the relationship. That's all. Archangel Michael will only cut the negative energy cords. He will never cut the positive ones. That isn't possible because they were established by you and your spouse. Archangel Michael, please cut the cords from any family or friends that intrude upon our marriage or our relationship. Okay? Archangel Michael, please cut the cords from family and friends that intrude upon the marriage or the relationship. Okay. Archangel Michael, please reignite the frequency of playfulness and intimacy within the marriage or the relationship. Archangel Michael, please reignite the energy of playfulness and intimacy, or playfulness and curiosity within the marriage or the relationship. You can also ask Archangel Michael, please have our higher selves cooperate with each other. Archangel Michael, please have our higher selves cooperate with each other. Okay, so those are some of the healings that you can ask Archangel Michael to do. So I'm now going to pull the cards for the people that shared the post. If you would like me to pull you a card, look out for the posts on my Facebook page. So I have a Facebook page called Sheila Wright, and I have a Facebook page called Lightworkers Activations. If you share the posts that are for my Facebook Lives, and you like, comment and share, then I always check that, and I will pull cards for you when I do the lives. Okay, so we've got a card for Laura. So we've got Hidden Depths. This is for Laura Runner. And this is basically saying that something is going to come to light. Okay. Janice, we have Wish Wisely. Use your wishes to manifest your heart desire and take practical steps towards making your dreams come true. We have a card for Lisa Parkinson. Manifestation. Be very honest and clear about what you wish to manifest in your life. Okay, these are my fairy cards. I love these cards at the minute. We've got Barbara and we've got Lena. Okay, Barbara, now is the time for you to give or receive healing. Everyone has a natural ability to heal others, including you. Lena, we've got hope is always there, even if we can't see it. Optimistic expectations can help change a negative situation into a positive one. We've got a card for Milena. And we've got a card for Tracy Hoover. Okay, so we have find balance for Milena. Find balance between your work, rest and play. I have a card for Tracy Hoover. Flourish. Even looks like you, Tracy. The Lotus Flower Fairy tells you to learn from experience and in a light on any unclear areas of your life. Then we have Patricia Atkins, Tree Wisdom. The Tree Dryad will help you navigate through your current situation. Her flute can reveal insights and answers through the sounds it makes. And then we have Sherry. Listen carefully, for there may be a message in the music that you hear. Music can lift your soul. Okay, so there's messages in music coming. If you're not one of the people that shared the post, I'm going to give you an opportunity to choose card number 1, card number 2, or card number 3. Okay, so if you choose card number 1, stargazing. When you gaze at the stars, you give yourself more fairy focus. Your intuition will flow more freely. I chose card number 2. We have purity. Always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart and within it, and you will find the answer to your question. I love these cards. They're so pretty. And if you chose card number 3, journey. It's time to prepare for a journey. Either way, whether it's impromptu or planned, make sure you pack your passport. Lucky you if you get to pack your passport. There's no chance of that in the UK at the minute. I also want to let you know about a group that I have. I have a free group called Lightworker Activations. It's very small. And some of the topics that I'm talking about in that group are about galactic twin flames, parallel lives, different types of beings. I'm talking about different types of empaths. I'm talking about star family. I'm also doing videos about raising your vibration, how to have a deeper connection with your star family, using your third eye to see your star guides, spirit animals, and lots of juicy stuff. If you would like to have a magical, sparkly reading, my new reading offers are coming out this weekend. We have the Fairy Abundance reading. It's not a card reading, and you get a clearing with that as well. And they're very specific clearings with my guide spirit. I also have the Mother Mary reading, the Higher Self reading, the Cosmic Origins reading, and the Starseed Soulmate reading as well. So you can find all of those over on my site, www.sheilamaria.com/work with me. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Goodbye, YouTube. Bye-bye.